Hey, Joe from Boulet's Garage. I'm going to share a story about my Toyota Tundra. I've been chasing a brake problem on this thing for about a year. I found a real simple solution to the problem. Doesn't just apply to Toyota Tundras, it can apply to any vehicle. Hold on, I'm going to share my story with you. So about a year and a half ago, I had to do a bunch of work to my truck here. I just basically use this truck for business purposes now. Um, So the backing plates for the brake drums and all that, they were horribly rusted. So I bit the bullet. I replaced all the backing plates, both sides, wheel bearings, shoes, wheel cylinders, all the seals, everything back there. Also, I had to replace the load sensing proportioning valve in the back. For those of you who don't know what that is, what it does is when you weight the bed of the truck down, it allows more hydraulic pressure to go to the back brakes and apply them to help compensate for the extra load. So I did all that, and it was before that, maybe 6 months before that, I had put front brake pads and rotors. Now, I don't know, I guess it was the mood I was in. I kind of just, well, it's just my shop truck. I'm just going to throw some cheap stuff on it. And I know that with Toyotas, brake rotors, if you use cheap rotors on them, you're going to get a vibration out of them in a short amount of time usually. So, so after that, I did all the backing plates and everything like that, and I drove the truck and checked the brakes out, and the brakes didn't feel right. It felt like I still had air in the system. Now, for those of you who don't know it, if you do bleed out the brakes in these, the load sensing proportioning valve in the back has its own bleeder. You're supposed to bleed that first, which I did. The brakes, it would stop the truck, but they just didn't feel right. They wouldn't grab, you know what I mean? And it was driving me crazy. So I'd put a master cylinder in it, a brand new one, bled it out, just because the truck's so old, there's so many miles on it. And same thing, same thing. So basically, everything I did, it didn't matter. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this? I was talking to a friend of mine. He said, yeah, I've seen the ABS modulators go bad on those. And I'll show you what that is. Hold on a second. Okay, so the ABS modulator assembly is right here. Control module, whatever you want to call it. Control module, say the hydraulic end of it's there. He said, well, I've seen those go bad. They won't blink a code out, but um, he goes, I've seen those cause the same exact complaint you're talking about. And geez, I said, geez, I don't know about that. And so anyway, you can see that's still old. It's not a shiny new one. They're very pricey. And I was considering getting a used one for it because that's what they ended up doing, save their customers some money. Because my new master cylinder, that was in there not that long ago. So what I told you before about brake rotors and Toyotas, it doesn't matter if it's a Highlander, Coma, Forerunner, whatever. If you put cheap brake rotors in it, you're going to pay for it. You're going to get a vibration. So I did get a vibration out of mine. I was out messing with it, trying to figure this brake problem out, and the brake rotors were quite rusted. Not even, I mean, the truck sits inside the shop most of the time. I mean, this doesn't make much sense that they get a high spot on them from sitting, but go figure. Okay, so we're at the back of my truck here, and I'm going to share with you what I found out. Now, the brakes on my truck, like I had mentioned before, I did a bunch of work to it. They just didn't seem to grab. The truck would stop, but it acted like it had air in the lines. I was really frustrated, and I was this close to buying an ABS modulator assembly for it, based on what I was told from a friend of mine. Now, good thing I didn't, because you know what it was? Brake pads. That's right. So I basically did what I tell everybody else not to do, but I put cheap brake pads in. And you can see these brake pads are like new, right? So evidently, over time, if you have cheap brakes, they kind of get a glaze on them and they don't grip like they should. So what'd you put in it for brake pads, Joe? Jeez, I don't know. Look, I don't want to. I'm gonna share that with you in a second, but I'm not out to bash any company. I got friends that work for these companies. They don't make the brake parts; they just sell them, and they offer different lines of brake pads, brake rotors, and some places will put stuff on to keep the cost of the estimate down. I personally like to give people a choice because if I warn them, I'll say, hey, if you don't put these rotors on your Toyota, you're going to end up with a brake pulsation in a short amount of time. Well, if they say, well, I'll just put them on because, I don't have the money for it, great, I'll put them on. But it's not that much more money if you put coated brake rotors on, okay? So what did I put on it? You hold on a second. So I use these brake pads right here. They're made by Ray Bestis, SST brake pads. They're a ceramic brake pad. And a few bucks more, I got these. And it's with coated brake rotors as well. Not coated, coated, right? So what did I put for brake rotors on them? I put these silent stop brake rotors on there. I'll tell you in the description. No, ask me in the comment section, and I'll tell you where I got them from. So these brake rotors I've had great luck with. So I put them on my truck with those brake pads that I showed you, and it stops like it did when it was new. So yeah, like I said, I almost put an ABS modulator assembly in it. That would have been a pricey mistake. So I went round and round with this. I bled it out probably a handful of times. Nothing took care of it. So I thought I'd share this video with you and let you know, because if you're having the same problem with your Toyota, your Nissan, your whatever, if you put cheap brake pads in it, more than likely that's your problem. Live and learn. I've been doing this for 40 years. I should know better, but hey, whatever. Hey, if you like this video, please do so. You want to subscribe, great. Almost at 1,000 subscribers here. Don't forget, I hit 1,000 subscribers with the 4,000 watch hours. I'm going to do a giveaway. And if you want to find out what that is, keep watching. Hey, I appreciate you. Drive safe. Don't drive like a moron, and treat everybody else on the road with respect. Have a great night.